Tonight on Sports Desk, for one Hurricanes women's basketball player, it was destiny to have a breakout season in 2020. We'll show you how one redshirt sophomore has stepped up down the stretch.
Plus, Canes baseball got swept by rival Florida last weekend. We'll throw it to our inside pitch crew later tonight to find out what went wrong.
And we'll flip through the archives to show you where some of South Florida's hidden gems lie.
All that and more.
Sports Desk starts
right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching Sports Desk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching Sports Desk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching Sports Desk.
Hello and welcome to Sports Desk. I'm Josh White.
And I'm Charlotte Payne. Josh, the Hurricanes women's basketball team hit the road for the final time this regular season last night.
Yeah, Charlotte, they took care of business and now find themselves in contention for a postseason berth. Let's check out the highlights from yesterday's game at the Lawrence Stroll Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Miami taking on Wake Forest, and the Hurricanes would jump out to an early lead. A quick layup by Brianna Jackson, 2 of her 12 points on the night to get the Canes started. Then India Banks, the lefty launch from the right side, a 7-0 run to begin the game, and the Hurricanes offense continues to click. This time it's Kelsey Marshall. See me? I'm open on the left side. 1 of 6 triples on the night for the junior. How about down low? Beatrice Montpremier weaving her way through the Deeks in just her second game back from a foot injury. But Wake Forest looking for an answer. Christina Mora knocks down the jumper to cut it back to just a 4-point deficit. Later, how about a little razzle-dazzle for the Demon Deacons? Kaya Harrison with the flash to put Wake Forest up 29-26. But Kelsey Marshall and the Canes were too much. Marshall, the hot hand, sinks another tray on her way to 18 points on the night. Taylor Mason, the hard take to the tin, providing a lift off the bench. And then this is just cruel, the icing on the cake. Another bucket for Queen Bee as she finishes with 23 and 10 as the Canes defeated Wake Forest 79-63, crushing the Deeks on Senior Day.
Hurricane women's hoops have struggled this season with All-American Beatrice Montpremier sidelined for more than a dozen games. And while her injury hurt the Canes, it gave one UM forward the opportunity to fulfill her destiny. Reporter Brendan Riley has more.
For Miami women's basketball, nothing has come easy this year, especially with star forward Beatrice Montpremier sitting out 13 games due to injury. Miami was looking for someone to step up in her absence, and redshirt sophomore Destiny Harden rose to the occasion.
When they went down, I didn't think that I had to step up as much as I am now. It seemed to me like I'm actually, pretty good at the position that she put me in and threw me in.
While UM showed significant interest in Harden, Destiny's road to Coral Gables took a pit stop in Morgantown, West Virginia.
We always wanted her. I think it was more for her to realize she wanted to go get Miami, and it happened.
It's very different here because it's actually real and genuine. So it's actually a family, like they take care of us and they actually care about us.
Harden was forced to sit out last season due to NCAA transfer regulations and used it to her advantage.
Benefited my game a lot actually because one, Coach Meyer used a crazy lingo. So like in order to be able to play for Coach, you have to know what she's talking about.
She can tee up, she can flash, she can 56.
And we call them Meyerisms, so Coach Meyer has her way of talking, and it gave her time in that year to kind of transition from West Virginia to Miami, understanding what those Meyerisms were.
In Beatrice Montpremier's absence, Harden posted a career high in points, rebounds, and minutes, a key for keeping the Canes alive this season.
Now she finds Destiny Harden in the right corner for 3, and that one's nothing but net.
You find blessings in everything. We hated to lose B. But in that, we discovered destiny. She learned kind of the hard way. It's like put on your big girl pants and get out there and figure it out. And she had opportunities with Beatrice being out to figure it out.
And we'll see where Harden's destiny takes her with Beatrice Montpremier back on the hardwood. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Brendan Riley.
Miami women's basketball picked up a big-time road victory against Wake Forest last night, but they're still fighting to extend their postseason streak. While the men's squad is coming off a loss to Notre Dame on Sunday. Let's hang out with Brian Embrick and Michelle to learn about what's going on with Hurricanes hoops.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Hurricane Hang Time. I'm your host, Brian Acevedo, and I'm here with our two analysts, Embrick Isles and Michelle Ng-Reyes. Now, Embrick, here we go again. The Canes fell short against Notre Dame, 71-87. What happened? Is there still hope?
Yeah, Brian, the Canes ran into a really strong Notre Dame team who just got hot at the right time. They shot 47% from the field, 45% from three. John Mooney, their best player, had 19 and 12. And the Canes really got killed by a run at the end of the first half that really deflated their momentum going into the second half. And Likes, Wong, and McGusty weren't their usual selves. So those played a lot into why the Canes were not able to take home a W in South Bend.
Nice. Now, let's play a game. I'm going to make you head coach. You'll be facing Georgia Tech this upcoming weekend. How can you and your team bring home a win?
Yeah, Brian, if I was head coach of the Canes, I would make sure that we need to get Georgia Tech to turn the ball over. They average 16 a game. To put that in perspective, the Canes average about 12, and they turn the ball over a significant amount. We need to stop their guard tandem, as they've been the keys to their team. And Likes, Wong, and McGusty are going to need to be their usual selves and score in double figures if the Canes are going to come home with a win from Atlanta.
Nice. Now, Michelle, the Canes finally woke up and defeated Wake Forest with Beatrice Montpremier scoring 23 points. How did they do it?
Well, as you said, Brian, Beatrice Montpremier is back. This is her second game back after she has been sidelined for weeks with a foot injury. She has been absolutely on fire, leading the team to victory. She scored her 8th double-double of the season last night with 23 points and 10 rebounds, absolutely killing it. In addition to Montpremier, Kelsey Marshall has also been an incredibly aggressive scorer on the court. She had 18 points last night. I think this pair is absolutely killing it together. They're doing great things for the Canes.
Nice. Now, Michelle, do you like to read?
I do. I love to read.
Well, it looks like it's the end of the season for the women's basketball team. How can they bring home a win against Pittsburgh?
Well, as you said, this is the final game of the season for the Canes. I think that Montpremier will once again be super aggressive with her scoring, absolutely wants to find a win in this last game for her final season as a senior. I think as long as the Canes stay aggressive against Pitt, they'll do just fine.
Well, that's all the time we have here on Hurricane Hang Time. Thanks for hanging with us. Back to you, Charlotte.
Miami men's hoops has been bit by the injury bug all season long, and the road to recovery has had some speed bumps along the way. Reporter Claire O'Connor is live in the studio to tell us more about how the Canes bounced back from the bruises. Claire?
Well, Charlotte, Sam Wardenberg missed the following game after his best career performance earlier this season, but there was a silver lining in the recovering process. I sat down with a Kiwi to talk about how the road to recovery is not a road he walked alone. For almost any athlete, a midseason injury can feel like a defeating setback. But for Sam Wardenberg, a redshirt junior on the UM men's basketball team, his outlook was a little different.
You gotta stay positive, you know. You can't get down in the gutters or anything like that. You gotta talking and practice and stuff like that, making sure guys are good. You just gotta be in that positive light because, you know, there's nothing good for being negative in those situations.
During practice, Sam suffered a neck injury that sidelined him right after a career night against Florida State.
It looked kind of scary, just the way it all happened. Neck injuries are like no fun. I remember he couldn't even turn his neck to look and talk at me, so it was kind of funny, but not funny at the same time because he's obviously dealing with an injury.
But he didn't have to deal with it alone.
I was with him going to treatments and doing certain stretches and, you know, just really working at getting better.
His road to recovery was paved by the support of his teammates.
We're a team, like, if someone randomly came in our locker room and just sat there for 20 minutes, they'd be amazed. And, you know, how like, well we gel and how we get along and the jokes that we have in the locker room. So we're a really close team and probably one of the closest teams I've ever been on.
As much as the game is about the hustle, it's about those who you hustle with.
Most games you don't really remember that much. It's always those like locker room moments, you know, going out, getting food, just spending time together. Those are the times that you remember. And it's really just the game, you know, life's bigger than just basketball.
The Hurricanes will be hustling tomorrow in Atlanta when they take on Georgia Tech, and they will keep one thing in mind: teamwork makes the dream work.
Coming up on Sports Desk, 4 graduating Hurricane student athletes are receiving a boost. We'll tell you more about the impressive recognition after the break. Stay with us. The Miami Hurricanes lost a series against the top-ranked Florida Gators this past weekend, but the Canes were back in action in the midweek against the USF Bulls. Let's check out the highlights from Mark Light Field. Hurricanes taking on the Bulls, but things did not get started right for Miami. It's Carmine Lane, the two-run bomb for USF, with upset hopes still alive in just the first inning off the freshman, Alex McFarland. Miami would get a little closer. Alex Terrell, an RBI single the other way. Adrian Del Castillo maneuvering his way through the catcher, able to step on the plate to make it 2-1. Then a little defense for the Miami Hurricanes. How about this? Something that's been missing the last couple years. A 6-4-3 twin killing Villar to Tuera to Terrell to end the inning. Now, some offensive bats getting alive for Miami. Jared Thomas, his second career game started, his first career home run, sending this over the right center field fence to put the Hurricanes up by 3. But USF would climb all the way back. J.D. Dutka, a 2-run shot in the 7th inning to tie this game up at 5 apiece. The rain coming down, Raymond Gill said, "I'm tired of getting wet. We're going home. We're walking it off." Gill goes yard. The Hurricanes win 7-5 over USF at Mark Light Field.
Canes baseball surely celebrated at Mark Light Field Wednesday after walking it off against USF, but the Hurricanes struggled to defend their home turf last weekend against rival Florida. Let's toss it to Brendan Riley and Cameron Dobbs for this week's edition of Inside Pitch.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to Inside Pitch. I'm Cameron Dobbs here with Brendan Riley. Now, Brendan, the Miami baseball team dropped from #1 in the nation after losing to #2 ranked Florida last weekend. Brendan, tell us what happened with the Canes.
Yeah, I mean, with this weekend, a lot of big expectations coming in. Miami looking for their first win since 2014. They just didn't get it done. They got swept, but you look at all 3 games, I mean, Friday and Saturday night, they were both very close. There was 2-1 final on Friday night. Brian Van Bell pitched a heck of a game. He went 7 innings, striking out 9, 1 shy of his career high. He was absolutely lights out, and he did that against Rutgers on opening night as well. This kid's been electric. He was great last year, but he's been something else this season, his final year as a Miami Hurricane. And, you know, at the end of the day, the bullpen just wasn't able to get it done for the Hurricanes. That's what the downfall was. The pitching, starting pitching was good all weekend. Chris McMahon pitched well as well, and, you know, it's the bullpen. The bullpen's a big problem with this team right now. Who's going to be that person on the back half and really going to try to close out a game? That's really the problem with this team, and, you know, the bats will come. They came on Wednesday against USF, and, you know, they'll continue to come throughout the rest of the season as well.
Exactly. The Canes did bounce back with a win against UCF, but it wasn't pretty, Brendan. Tell us, will this win end up contributing to some more momentum to push the Canes back on top this season?
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely has to. After you play Florida, get swept, and you go out, you struggle yesterday. If you lose that game, it's a lot of morale that's just lost for your team. And, you know, Miami, they battled all day where they were up 5-2 at one point, and then USF came storming back, tied it up, and then it was Raymond Gill. He walked it off, and he walked it off at the right time. In the pouring rain, I mean, it was just a perfect time for him to pick up another home run. He's starting to come alive at the plate. I mean, he's hit 2 home runs over his last 3 games, and he's starting to come alive. And you need someone that's going to protect Adrian Del Castillo at that 3 spot. So if he's able to get hot, this lineup will become unstoppable.
And the Canes are taking on Towson right now at the Light, 0-0 bottom of the first, and that's all the time we have. We're going to head to the game. Back to you guys at the desk.
4 UM athletes have been awarded ACC postgraduate scholarships for their excellence both in competition and in the classroom. We checked in with senior guard DJ Vasilovich to hear about the award.
Really care about my work in the classroom and on the court as well. So being able to juggle both lives on and off the court is, you know, pretty something I wanted to do when I came here.
Joining Vasilovich is swimmer Claire McGinnis, men's tennis standout Dane Dunlap, and reigning national champion women's tennis star Estela Perez Somariba. The scholarship are awarded to 50 ACC athletes and offers recipients $6,000 towards their graduate degree. The recipients will be honored at an ESPN luncheon on April 18th in North Carolina.
Up next on Sports Desk, changes to the University of Miami's on-campus housing are just around the corner. And while some buildings will be coming down, UM is honoring the legacy of former on-campus athletes. We'll tell you more about it after the break. But first, it's time for some trivia. Break out your Hurricane record books. The 2020 NFL Combine is currently underway, and it had us thinking, which Miami Hurricane ran the fastest 40-yard dash ever? Is it A, Santana Moss, B, Philip Dorsett, C, DeMarcus Van Dyke, or is it D, Lamar Miller? We'll have the answer when we return.
Anytime they're playing music downstairs, it's loud. I go downstairs, see what they're doing, see what music they're doing, see what they're dancing to. I go play piano downstairs, they come get involved. Leah has a drum set beside it, banging that. Any music, that's what they do.
So, Josh, I heard you had some cool socks, right?
Yeah, I'm sporting these pizza socks
Pizza.
tonight. I don't know if they can see
Doesn't
it
it
at
make you
home,
hungry?
but
Oh,
it's
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Thanks for staying with us. If you guessed C, you are correct. Former Canes cornerback DeMarcus Van Dyke ran the 40-yard dash in 4.28 seconds back in 2011. Van Dyke is now back at the U as Assistant Director of Recruiting for head football coach Manny Diaz. And what goes up must come down, and this summer, that's exactly what will happen to UM's Stanford Towers. UM's housing celebrated groundbreaking athletes who lived in Stanford on Monday night. The event took place at the Kislak Center at the UM Richter Library. UM's first Black Scholarship athlete, Ray Bellamy, was one of 4 former Hurricanes honored earlier this week. The panelists spoke about how their time at Stanford influenced their career on and off the field.
This university brought the best out of me. It did push me, it challenged me, and the University of Miami did everything for me that they said they were going to do.
The Stanford Towers will close in May after the conclusion of the academic year, with a full Centennial Village set to be completed by 2025. While UM just celebrated the past, we are looking towards the future. 8 Miami football players are participating in the 2020 NFL Combine. Let's kick it behind the post to Tommy Sullivan to hear how the Canes have stood out so far.
Hello everyone, I'm Tommy Sullivan and welcome to this week's edition of Behind the Post, where we cover all things Canes happening on social media. This week, Canes football tweeted some hype videos as the NFL Combine is currently underway in Indianapolis. Miami sent 8 players to the Combine, and so far they're off to a hot start. Jeff Thomas showed off his explosiveness yesterday, running his 40-yard dash in 4.45 seconds and having a 36.5-inch vertical jump. KJ Osborne also had a very impressive combine performance with 18 reps on the bench press, a 37.5-inch vertical jump, and a 4.48 40-yard dash. DJ Dallas is working out today as the running back drills began this afternoon. Canes football also tweeted out a video this week to help introduce some of the new incoming freshmen on defense. The video features the players talking about the work they are currently putting in and also what influenced them coming to Miami. Finally, a couple Cane commits dropped some fire this week on Twitter with some Miami edits. First, one of Miami's newest commits, Corey Hammett, tweeting this pic with the caption, #TNM, and some orange and green. Next, offensive line commit Lawrence Seymour dropped this edit with himself and some former Cane greats in the background. That's all the time we have this week. Back to you guys.
The NFL has played a 16-game schedule for more than 40 years, but now the league is looking to play another game. Let's get Evan's angle on the proposed changes of adding an extra week.
The NFL's new collective bargaining agreement has been the center of widespread debate over the last week. For starters, the possibility of a 17-game season has justifiably raised concerns over the potential health risk involved for the players. The agreement, in large part, is centered around increasing the amount of competition and features an overall loosening of the rules regarding injury returns. The new CBA stipulated that the owners will receive 52% of revenue compared to 48% for the players beginning in 2021. The league also is attempting to toe the line when it comes to the issue of Thursday night games. Their bogus reluctance to remove Thursday night games from the schedule confirms the unapologetic desire to keep the bottom line at the top. If passed, the CBA will mandate that players take a minimum of 3 days off after a Thursday night game. This unproductive measure is similar to the league's legacy fund, which has done the barest of minimums to address the high volume of CTE and after-football disabilities found in players. As if the NFL hadn't flexed its muscle enough, the league will begin implementing fines for players who hold out for a new contract during training camp. While holdouts are no fun for either party and can understandably annoy fans, the NFL is doing everything it can to ensure it can treat each one of its players as circus animals. Knowing that the average NFL career barely even lasts 3 seasons, Roger Goodell and his armada of lawyers have only limited time to extract every last bone-crushing collision out of their subordinates. If passed, the CBA will only be the next agreement designed to take advantage of the very labor that has made the owners as rich as they are. That's Evan's angle.
Still ahead on Sports Desk, one Canes soccer player visits the studio to talk about how she spends her time off the pitch. We'll be right back.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Emma Tucker shined in her first year at the U, but in the offseason, she's spending some time with her teammates off the field. Caroline McDonald catches up with the freshman midfielder to talk about what item, other than a soccer ball, is in her purse.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to this week's segment of Athlete of the Week. I'm here with Emma Tucker on the women's soccer team. So Emma, tell me a little bit about what you like to do outside of soccer.
Okay, so outside of soccer, my friends and I, we like to take little adventures around Miami just to get to know Miami better. We often find ourselves at Wynwood Walls just because we love the different paintings on the walls, the graffiti, and we take photo shoots there to edit pictures, and it's a lot of fun.
So tell me, what is your favorite wall that you've been to?
Okay, so my favorite wall, I think it was like around Valentine's Day we went, and it was this red with like kissing lips. It was really cute, and so we like posed on the wall, and then we went back, edited the pictures. It was just very festive for Valentine's Day.
So the photo shoots, tell me a little bit more about that. Is this with you and your soccer team?
Yeah, so me and a couple of my friends, so Jacqueline on the soccer team and Jackie as well. And we just go around, look for our favorite walls. Like, they tend to not be like so plain, because like we like the more interesting ones. But yeah, so we go around and we take pictures on the cool ones.
Very cool. So you're good at editing, I'm assuming.
Yes, I love editing.
Okay, you're gonna have to help me out because my Instagram lately is, I'm just so bad at it. But I can tell you're a good editor.
Yes, I love
Okay,
editing.
I trust you. So what are you majoring here at UMiami?
At UMiami, I'm majoring in marine affairs, so something with like the marine life, and hoping to dive into like marine bio, and for like a future job, something with like being hands-on in the ocean and like the life, like the marine life.
That's very cool. And do you plan on staying here in Miami for that?
I'm not sure yet.
You're not
I would
sure?
love to.
Where are you
of
from?
course. Boston area.
So am I. So you're a big Boston sports fan?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, I like you even better now. Thank you so much. That was this week's segment of Athlete of the Week. Back to you guys.
Sports and passion go hand in hand, and one institution is trying to keep the tradition alive. This week I went to Miami-Dade College and took a look inside South Florida's Sports Memory Vault. Check it out.
Florida, home to beautiful beaches, breathtaking skylines, and any sport one could imagine. And unlike many other cities, Miami is no stranger to memories.
Miami Stadium later became known as. It's one thing to read a book because of the way that moving images can actually reach in to people's hearts and minds and put them in the place where they took place. They can tell the history a lot more effectively.
Strike three, the Hurricanes are the national champions.
The Wolfson Archive is home to over 23 million feet of film and about 35,000 hours of videotape. And they want to preserve the memories that might otherwise go forgotten.
Sports has such a long history here in Florida. You think that is kind of the root of what unites the community sometimes is rooting for their sports team.
And there are teams and players that Miami fans can no longer cheer on, like one MLS team.
As players, I never really felt a sense that it would be gone. You know, we heard rumors, and especially when we were doing so well, we would just focus on winning games.
The Miami Fusion was ripped apart in their prime, and the only memories players and fans have now are held in the Wolfson Archive vault.
If you preserve history as it happens, you're able to go back and say, this is true. And it really is a way to settle debates about who we are, where we came from, and where we should go.
Wolfson is going to continue to preserve and protect, and sports in South Florida are going to continue to make history.
Every game is filled with excitement and cheer, and with the help of some dedicated people, those moments will live on forever.
For this week's Play of the Day, we head to Atlanta, where Orlando Magic big man Aaron Gordon soared past the Hawks with a mid-game spinning slam, and there was no snub for this all-star dunk this time around. Let's head out to the State Farm Arena to see what brought the house down. Little defense for Orlando. Aaron Gordon has the basketball, nobody home, and oh my goodness, that's nasty. Defying gravity, spinning through the air. Tens all around for Aaron Gordon. Didn't win the dunk contest, wins it this time. He finishes with 25 and 10, and the Magic will come out on top 130-120 in Atlanta.
One Oregon Ducks women's basketball player rewrote history this week. Sabrina Ayanescu became the first player in the NCAA to score 2,000 points, grab 1,000 rebounds, and dish out 1,000 assists. Let's relive the moment right now. Here she is at the Maples Pavilion just hours after she paid tribute to the late Kobe Bryant at the Staples Center Memorial. Look at it. There it is, right there. She just secured the spot in the history books, beating out male and female players before her. Head coach Kelly Graves, here he is coming up, giving her a big, big hug, much deserved. She says she did this one for Kobe. Earlier that day, she gave a heartwarming speech dedicated to her mentor and friend, and now she gets to celebrate with two angels on her shoulders. It was truly an incredible night after a sad, emotional day.
So that really touches your heart, especially Ayanescu, great friends with Kobe and Gianna Bryant. Obviously, rest in peace to them, and just an incredibly strong woman and an incredible night.
And I think she definitely did it for Kobe there, too. And she was a mentor to Gigi as well.
I think the thing with her is you think about the greatest college athletes, whether it be basketball, baseball, whatever it might be, and she's the only one. 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 1,000 assists. She's as good as it gets.
And she's making some strides for women's in sports as well. But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching Sports Desk.
See you next week.